I have the Blues King in studio on The Late Show, Dan Patlansky. It's such an honor having you here.
Well, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
You have been making music for quite some time, and like I told you a bit earlier off air, I thought that you're from Stellenbosch, from Cape Town, because you've been doing so many shows there, but you're actually from Pretoria.
That's it. I actually live down the road. I grew up in Joburg, but I've been living in Pretoria for the last, I'd say, 7 years. And to be honest with you, I'm absolutely loving it. I couldn't imagine a better place to live in South Africa, and I mean that.
Exactly.
I mean, everyone's always like
the
the coast and somewhere on the coast or on the Cape. I love Pretoria. I really do.
I have been listening to music for like over a decade, but I'm sure that since the birth of your daughter, have your music and the writing of your music changed in a bit?
Severely. Definitely. I mean, obviously, that's such a massive thing to happen to anyone, is having a kid. And I think what it does, it puts life in a completely different light and a completely different perspective, right? So all of a sudden, instead of writing about, the nonsense I was writing about when you're kind of young, obviously, life's changed now, and, I'm looking after a little girl now. I've got a boy on the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So it's, you see life in a different way. You approach things as a different way. And obviously it's a fantastic subject matter to write about, having a kid. I mean, short of sounding like every father or mother in the world, it's incredible. No one can explain what it's like to have a kid until you have a kid. And all of a sudden, you find a lot of your songwriting kind of channeling into that kind of direction and that perspective. Yeah, so it has changed significantly.
Where is the holy grail to perform for you?
For me, the place the Holy Grail, that place that I always thought if I play there, I can kind of retire a happy man, would probably be the Royal Albert Hall in London, right? I mean, it's a big ask. I mean, it's like 8,000 people, and it's just this arena that's just full of legacy, and you can kind of feel the legacy in that room, and it's one of those very, very iconic venues. So for me, the Royal Albert Hall would definitely be the one.
The Royal Albert Hall is, of course, up there. Performing at the FNB Stadium, opening for Bruce Springsteen. How was it opening for the boss? He was also in the keuringsproses of choosing you to be on that stage with him.
It was awesome. And well, let me start with the last bit of the question. Is Springsteen doesn't normally have support acts, because if you see a Springsteen show, he plays for like 4 hours straight. So there's no space for support acts, so he just takes the whole thing. So when Springsteen was kind of unofficially confirmed to come to South Africa, before it was announced, Big Concerts, who were the promoters for it, got hold of us and said that they would think it would be an awesome match, if we were support. And obviously we're not going to say no to, being the support for the boss. And but they said it's unlikely because Bruce doesn't have a support acts. So they presented to him, and Bruce took a listen, and he liked it, and he agreed, which was, I mean, we never thought. We thought there's like zero chance we're going to get the gig. And we got it. And it was one of those milestone moments for me in my career. I mean, obviously, you're playing for 85,000 people in FNB Stadium. I mean, that's just
85,000
I know,
people.
it hurts the brain, which is surreal. And obviously, playing before Springsteen. And, Springsteen is obviously one of those giant stadium bands and household names all over the world. And he kind of had the decency or the courtesy. He didn't have to, because he's Springsteen. He watched our entire set from the wing of the stage, like from the side, which, I mean, obviously took up our stress levels through the roof. If performing in front of 85,000 people wasn't enough already, now you've got Bruce Springsteen and Tom Morello watching the show from the wings. But it was awesome, and he was a very, very sweet guy and a very humble, down-to-earth guy, and it was a humbling experience doing that show.
I can just imagine 85,000 people, because I actually watched that same show in Cape Town that year.
Yes.
And it was mind-blowing. So I can't imagine how you would have felt being on that stage. It's incredible. Talking about more shows where you can see Dan Patlansky live.
Yes, so on the 5th of July, that's almost sold out, that show. Then we still got tickets available for Rockwood Theatre, which is the old Parkview Barnyard in Pretoria East. So we're going to be playing there on the 5th of July. That's also a full band electric show, like a bit of acoustic and electric, and it's the last time we're promoting the new album Introvertigo. So that'll also be the last full band show we do this year in Pretoria.
And then the big show where I'm definitely going to be. I'm driving on Friday already. I don't know when you're driving. Any Boss is happening next weekend.
Yes. I mean, I always enjoy playing Any Boss. I really, really do. It's a fantastic place to play, and it's always a great vibe there. So we are playing I think on the Saturday, which is the 8th, if I'm not
Yes, the
mistaken.
8th of
Well, you told me
July.
that, so yeah. So the 8th. So I always look forward to it. It's a fantastic audience, and I love getting out to Nelspruit. I mean, we don't get to Nelspruit enough. We really don't. We hardly ever play Nelspruit, except for any boys, and I always have awesome time playing there.
When can we expect the album?
Well, so we are in studio now. So the album is due for release February next year.
So you've been touring, you have been making your album in the studio. We can expect it very, very soon. But what I want to know, especially with the young daughter, with a little boy on its way, what's your favorite snack to have sometimes?
Well, I think my daughter takes after me. She's definitely got a sweet tooth. And I've always been a massive fan of donuts.
Oh.
But like more of the decadent kind of,
Yes.
not the plain cinnamon ones, like the real deal.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to ask you to do something for me in the next couple of minutes. Dan Patlansky, live on The Late Show.
Sprinkle the yeast over warm water. Let stand for 5 minutes until foamy. In a large bowl, mixed together with yeast, milk, sugar, salt, eggs, 2 cups of flour. Turn the dough out to the surface, gently roll, half an inch thickness. Melt the butter in the saucepan over medium heat. Stir in sugar, vanilla, remove from heat. Stir hot water with 1 tablespoon till the icing is somewhat thin but not watery. Set aside.